idea that I had to do it. Hopefully things do work. We'll see. Of course, there's been some issues in recent time. We're going to be focusing in on Kenny Veach, new developments, findings, discoveries. Thought I'd do a debrief from the last video that was done, which wasn't that long ago. Let's make sure we're okay. Like that. That should do for now. Do I have any other items to weight down at the back? Oh, fucking hell, I got the dogs. We got the dogs as usual. Right. Hopefully that's straight enough. I noticed another interesting anomaly in regard to YouTube live premiere just before, as in the view count lied to me. It was about 10 minutes in and I was looking at the views and it said only one person watching. I went on my mobile device and I had a quick look and it said about 18 people watching. So clearly YouTube is glitched as fuck at the moment. Worthless platform at this moment in time. Letting us down, letting me down, the platform. Not happy with that whatsoever. Does make me think, is that what's happening with the live streams in recent time besides the topic and theme what we're talking about? Welcome to everyone else watching right now, joining late, whatever. I did say I was going to do it just after this. I managed to get it done just in time. I was actually editing the live, getting the thumbnail, the title up and running just towards the end of the premiere. Thought I'd multitask whilst I was there and was able to. I don't think you can actually do a countdown on YouTube mobile streaming. You can on the laptop, so it's a bit dumb that. I thought I'd do a live because it's really hot and there's not really much else to do, so it'll help pass a bit of time as well. It might help pass a bit of time for you as well if you're struggling with the heat or anything else in the background. Just let me know. Let me know if you can hear me, if the audio is fine. Just give me a heads up if the audio is working. This time round I've got the device just in front of me on a table. Normally I've been resting it on my legs, that's why it's a bit wobbly. This time it's a bit more straight, so that'll probably help. Jeff Clark, have you seen Silverheel's latest videos? I did have a quick glance over it in regard to his comments. Not looked at it properly yet because I've just been trying to juggle videos in recent time. I've had quite a few to juggle about, as well as from yesterday as well. Dealing with that poll result, it was going back and forth. It was 50-50 and then it was 20. It was all over the place, so it took some time to arrange. So by yesterday, I already planned like 3 videos all in one go. So I'll be releasing them bit by bit. I did one, of course, yesterday, did one today. Female ahead. Fucking hell, that dog, shut up. Those dogs don't shut up in a second. I'll have to start barking again. Pisses me off. We've got Trident, welcome. Working well, Jeff, working, that's good to see, that's good. He says you are normal and I am crazy. Wow. I guess I take that as a massive compliment from Silverheels in a sense. And the funny thing is, Jeff, What are you saying, Jeff Clark? We've got Jay Silverheels present for once. Finally, this could be breaking news itself. In many years, Jay Silverheels finally shows up to a live stream. Jeff Clark, your alarm clock must have worked. We've got EJ just about to watch your new video. Oh yeah, the anomaly timeline one. Yeah, so Jay Silverheels, you seen that portal, that so-called portal, which you've described as a glitch? Well, it just so happens it's happened again in my video earlier on in real time, which is a bit weird. So let me know your thoughts, Silverheels. Last one, it was a blue triangle. This time around, it's a purple like patch, and when moving back and forth, the actual terrain morphs and moves with itself, which is a bit weird. Causing that. Shut the fuck up, piece of shit. In my way. Can't be arsed with stuff in my way. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I forgot. I don't think live reactions will show on mobile, which is okay. What I will do though is I'll try and get a second device if I can in just a minute. So if I do depart or disappear, it's just because I've gone inside just to get a second item if I do have access to it. Yeah, that's what I might consider next time round. I normally use the mobile device when I'm outside. But if I've got this set up as I do, I might be able to use the laptop outside. It's all Wi-Fi under the day. Jay, I'd like to see it moving and rotating. Like I do not just screen grabs. Remember on my end, nothing is there. Right. Well, the thing is, Jay, it only shows up during my video. It's not there permanent. It just appears and then disappears. It's random. So for the full proof, no screenshots, but real recording footage where I move it back and forth. It appears, it disappears, it morphs the ground, it shape shifts. Just check the earlier video, okay? As in tonight, just a bit earlier. Jay Silver said, I anticipate a big announcement on Rayleigh Robin soon. Yeah, so I need to do a video on Rayleigh Robin in some way or another. I've got to share with you the Q&A with Robin. I did the part 1 some time ago. I need to do part 2 and part 3, the so-called responses. A lot to do, but I need to pace it just right. Don't want burnout, want performance, want execution just right. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I meant I will be making an announcement. Ooh, so everyone in the chat watching in the background, make sure to check Jay Silverheels out. If you don't know who the person is, they are a hiker, or they have hiked in the area of Kenny Veach. They have been boots on ground, or more so sandals on ground. Jeff, Rafi had a good idea of looking in Kenny's video for that rock that little sheep skull was sitting on. Yeah, that's another video that needs to be done. Wow, so much going on. I'm just wondering, little idea. The short clips, at the moment I'm uploading the remnants of Rayleigh Robin's hike, part 1, part 2, part 3 shorts. I'm just wondering, in the moment, do I make shorts on the recent videos, what we've covered, as in the breaking news, the weird findings, to summarize and then provide a link? Or do I let it simmer and then later return back to these shorts? Because it can be done anytime, they're timeless. Undercover to white spots. It's really important, Jeff, because the time with Kenny 2014, the time with you 2016, it's not that far apart. And okay, the skull may not be there in Kenny's footage, but Kenny got scared. That skull, what you saw, if it's a warning, if it's something dark, something happened there than what was happening earlier. Did it link to Kenny's presence, his feeling? There was something off, there was something strange going on. So just as a quick little heads up, little recap for anyone watching during this live stream, welcome. And of course, people in the background. In just a minute, I'm going to try and get a second device just to monitor and check the reactions or additional comments, because it keeps disappearing on screen. So I will do that in just a second. It might be a glitch, but the latest updates and developments within this case mystery is that we've got the reference to the skull, Jeff Clark's experience, just so happens in the place where Kenny Veach got scared with a cave years before. But we never looked at it, considered what was there. Is it there? Did it appear? Did it disappear? What's going on? Creepy stuff going on. We've got the weird glitches, portal area, the same exact spot over and over again. Oh my God, there's a giant moth, shit. Over and over again. Like, how many more glitches are we gonna get? I don't remember seeing any glitches in other areas. Sometimes you get the white lines, the red lines where it flickers on screen, but that's just because of those markings, those lines, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't have any like clear blue lines or anything in the way obstructing. Jeff, Silver Hills, there are 2 Really Robins now. The thing is, there have been 2 Really Robin accounts. First one, the original, was 2020 to maybe 2021, and then the next time the second Really Robin account showed up, the one what you see till this day or had saw before it got deleted or disappeared from YouTube, that was February the 3rd or February the 2nd, 2022. And that, I think that alternative Robin account did change its profile picture at one point to a World of Warcraft gaming profile picture, and the username changed, and it kept going a bit back and forth. There was actually a point where the username wasn't even called Really Robin, it was just a random name, and it is documented on my channel, in case you're wondering, but that'll be further back. Right, so what I'm going to do now, because I can check the time as well, I'm just going to get a second device from in there, so I'm going to disappear off camera. So anyone in the chat, if anyone else joins a bit later or a few minutes, just remind people what's going on, okay? I'm just going to get that second device now. And whilst I'm gone, if you hear any ghost sounds or paranormal, you can let me know afterwards. Hopefully not, though. I wouldn't want that, to be honest. Let's move that just for a second. Okay, 1 second. There we go. Got that sorted now. Right, let's try and climb in. Get the fuck out my way. Oh my god. Shit, always in my way. There we go. I've got to be careful when I sit down because there is a nail stuck out the back, so if I don't move, I've got impaled on the chair. Right, so I've got all kinds of devices next to me right now. Well, not all kinds of devices, that'd be a bit out of context. Right, we've got one device here. Let's see what the battery is. As I said, if there are any reactions, any emojis, apologies, I can't see them at this moment, so I can't acknowledge them, but when I get onto this phone, I might be able to. Got the water. 10:40, what, oh, the time for you? Yeah, same time here, EJ, not too bad. Just catching up with the comments because they do disappear screen. Jay Silverheels, it will be the Really Robin that wears the yellow glasses wearing the hat from the Palms Casino. Oh. %, battery. Ah, do you know what? It'll do. Ooh, that's bright. Too bright for me. I'm just hoping that this works. No guarantee then. What I might do just to be safe, I might not do a post or a short clip tomorrow only because of the notification limit. I might just do a video tomorrow or try to, depends what the topic is. It's really hot, so, you know, we'll just see how it goes. But good turnout tonight. Good amount of people showing up, so that's appreciated. Right, I'm just hoping that this works. Where's the live chat at then? Oh, there we go. My God, YouTube's testing me, isn't it? What does that say? It said currently unable to what? Don't know. Raph, where are you? I am in the Shack of Horrors. I'm in a little hut. Right, not that you have to, but just out of interest, if anyone can, just let me know. Anyone more so watching in the background, if you're not able to say anything, just give a little nudge or something with the emoji reaction thing, you know, where the little heart symbol is. I just want to test. I just want to see if it's working or not. Is it because I don't want to miss any reactions or anything? Where's that crap? Get it off. Okay. Working. If I'm looking off camera, it's because I'm looking at the chat. I can't say it. The chat there, okay? Because it disappears on my screen when I'm doing a stream, unless I'm on the laptop. But yeah, I do see the emoji reactions. I appreciate that. Shout out to the person sending them. That's all good. Let me just catch up with the comments whilst I'm here. Silver Heels says a big part is that the area being looked at, a good test would do the same thing, sharp angle. I was just talking about the glitches. What I was saying, a good test, but must be done on your system. Navigating, tilting items. Tilting it up and down. Well, the thing is, Silver Heels, I have tilted it up and down and it didn't show. But when I was zoomed out at a certain angle, at a certain zoom, it appeared. And then when I shifted the camera a little bit, it disappeared. And when I shifted back, it reappeared. So it's one of those things, it's got to be at a certain angle for it to be aligned. Let's make sure I've got that. Sliverin says, have you ever experienced anything paranormal whilst hiking? Do you just have rational explanations for that kind of stuff? Well, the thing is, Sliverin, Jace Silverheels was the one that was firing gunshots or something in the dark when you had the donkeys about. The wild donkeys, my goodness. Mia, lovely stars, nice ambience, that's good then. I bet it's a more inspiring, better background here than it is when I do it in my room. Oh, we got Dale. Naughty Dale, you're in debt. You owe me. And as well, welcome. I wonder if we should do another guessing game again like I did in the last stream. Was it fun, that, the little guessing game? Guess the presence of someone present. Oh yeah, Silver Hills. Yeah, got to correct that. It was on a different hike. Got to scare the donkeys. I can't really do a donkey sound. Yeah, so the stream or certain things might be a little bit delayed. So when it comes to reactions, I might just need to take it a little bit slower. So let me just give a little demonstration right now. Dale, are you in the grain shed? Not quite, Dale. I'm in your garage, Dale. Okay, so if I'm gonna guess, let's improve the lighting so we make this crystal clear. I should have started off like that. Which one's better? God, I can't even see anything now. So, if I had to guess, let me just think of something first to say. Trying to take Kenny's land, yep. Let me just think of something, what I was gonna say. If I had to sense the presence of somebody watching in the background specifically, with shout out to them, I would guess the presence of a particular person watching in the background is out of this world still. And they like rain, and especially being in a park when it's raining. That is a person I sense watching right now, quietly in the background. Am I correct? Just give it a few seconds. Can I put that there, maybe? Let's just see. These were not friendly donkeys. Oh boy. That's another question, Jeff. I wonder if Kenny Veach was ever in contact or friends with the Paiutes. Ah, okay. Oh no. Okay, it looks like my little guessing game or presence didn't quite work. I might need to recharge my crystal balls. Never mind. It's worth a try. Oh, maybe I was right. It's kind of funny then, how when I'm doing the little guess thing, my mind goes completely blank. It's like, think of something, what to say. We got Tom. Hey, wait. Yes, Tom. Both Sean, Horlacker, and myself tried multiple times to get information, but they didn't. I'd say it's a female with the initials SP is my guess. What, Sharon Pilgrim? Crikey, what's Sharon Pilgrim doing here? Oh, hang on. Whee. You little naughty individual in the background pressing all these little emojis. I've not even explained what the emojis are, but I don't think I do need to explain because you have been paying attention, haven't you, in the background? Yes, you have. Very impressed. I'm very impressed. And one of them lied to me directly. Oh, Ty. Yeah, speaking of which, Jay Silverheels, you were supposed to have a pie thrown in your face, weren't you? Okay. What else can I say? It's like I'm good at being cryptic, but it's like got to make sure I say stuff which is neutral without it saying too much, you know. The tangerine person. Is the tangerine person there? I sense the one that hates it if I say I've had garlic bread. But then, maybe they changed their mind at one point that they liked garlic. Am I right? Tom, everyone seemed to stop. You heard from SB. Ooh. No, Jeff, I'm not going delusional. I am dealing with a multi-dimensional, multifunctional, out-of-this-world person from Mars who I'm trying to telepathically connect with through my mind to their screen, wherever they are, in the bedroom. Sorry, that sounds like in a room. My goodness, how would I know if a person's in a bedroom or not? I've asked more questions than not. The pie is not me. DJ's the pie. Banana pie. A cream. We won't finish that sentence. DJ. We got DJ. Oh my goodness. If we had DJ Donnelly with Andrew Culver, you could have like a battle of the DJs. Andrew Culver's got his DJ set in his profile picture, and DJ Donnelly's just got the name DJ. Probably not a DJ, but close enough. Yeah, so Tom, don't know if you chat, but if you go on SB Vegas Adventures YouTube channel and you go to the community tab section, he's actually done an update explaining where he's been and what's going on. Either way, someone's supposed to get a pie in the face. And also, shout out to Jay Silverheels, the one that technically invented the whip. And Silverheels like, whoa, you shouldn't be doing that. As for the person in the background, I hope you're tucked into bed and you've brushed your teeth. Yeah, the thing is, Tom, there's been some weird developments in recent time. If you got time and you head on to my channel, you'll be able to see what's going on there. Sean Horlacker, yeah, he's kind of disappeared. Content's disappeared more so, privatized. This chair's a little bit uncomfortable. Why is it so wonky? And Tom, if you have any questions, just leave a comment here or in the comment section down below. Yeah, and I'm hoping that towards the end of was it yesterday? I think. I'm hoping that the end of yesterday's live stream when going on to the psychology stuff, I hope it helped. Did it in a bit of a different style, that, because it was done as like different points of views and different perspectives. But it's good that people were able to make use of the reaction thing to get the voice, get the point across, make it clear. That's appreciated. And yeah, just as a little heads up, if anyone was interested, or to recap for those in the background that may be watching, the heart symbol can mean this is helping. You feel me, as in on the same wavelength. Whilst I'm not there, I'm not physically there, I am beside you. Which, to strangers, that will sound creepy as fuck. But, to, the odd familiar person who knows me, the party hat can mean, can you elaborate on something if I touch upon something key? The 100, obviously, I agree, I relate. Because I wish I thought of doing this sooner, like 5 months ago. This like emoji thing and this way of communicating. I wish I figured it out 5 months ago. But I think in all fairness, there's a time and place for everything. It may have not worked back then. Sometimes you just got to trust the natural process. Sometimes things fall into place. And I think it's worked in a certain way. And in terms of doing it 5 months ago, why? Because I guess just because it's important to me. But it's like you say, 5 months ago could have been done, but was it really possible? Maybe not. Could have said you encounter a person 5 years ago before everything, but you're not in control of that. Silver Hills, poor Sean Horlacker got took to the cleaners by Kenny Veach and he realised he had exaggerated about the M cave. He truly was victimised. But that's the thing, Jay Silver Hills, even if the M cave was exaggerated or a lie, there are clear mysteries out there, though, that are still present and exist. It's still a very real thing. I hope this chair doesn't collapse on me because it's a little bit wobbly. If I suddenly disappear off camera, I've broken something again. And you know what, Mia? You'll be able to witness it this time round. I can't show you, but the arm on this chair fell off because I applied too much pressure. Whilst I've not been doing exercise, the forearms are still kind of there. Yeah, speaking of which, a little guessing game. I know there might be someone in the background that is quite fond of the forearms and the grip. I wonder why. I wonder why exactly. Get away, moth. Moths are invading my personal space. Why did I go out there into that dungeon? Because I know Jay Silverheels was going to show up. I actually communicated with the aliens before this live stream, and I thought, you know what? We're dealing with Jay Silverheels there. Speaking of which, J Silvers, don't be shooting that in the background, okay? It's not real. It comes in peace. Oh, what was that other comment that showed up on screen? Hold on. Use your third source. Okay. Ticket be closed by US government. Yeah. That's another video that needs to be done. Probably should be getting on with that sooner than later. But yeah, just as a little reach out to those in the background, I'm hoping that the emoji thing is helping with the voice, being able to, you know, open, share without any consequences. A little step forwards, maybe. If that does help. If that does help you, I hope it does. Slytherin, I doubt he's as innocent as he seems. Wait, who are you referring to, Slytherin? Missing time. Where can I put the phone to rest? Ah, we got Glasgow Mac. Welcome back. Slytherin questions Sean. Jeff Claw's similar route. Jeff Claw, 2 hours, 10 minutes. SB's was about 42, 45 minutes. Yeah, you are lucky, Jeff. Just goes to show you need to document and have the receipts left, right, and centre just in case things disappear. I still don't get why the reactions have disappeared off mobile live streaming. But I'll use a laptop next time around so then I can see it all on screen in one place. But yeah, apologies if anyone was sending support earlier or even yesterday if I didn't see it. Apologies about that. Yeah, Sean. Is Sean here? No. No, Sean's not here. Unless you're watching in the background. Yeah, so it might have broken down the communication when you were around Glasgow, but what ended up happening was some people got overly emotional. That's the one problem with the Kenny Veach case on the sideline. So at one point, what's that? I'm just looking down at the chat. I don't know if some people are watching on catch up during the live, so the reactions could be. It's funny how after all this time I'm still trying to learn about all this. But regardless, I'll take those emojis as a positive, which is obviously massive, that. Because I've got to say on the sideline, whilst it's not technically my journey, you know, for those that are watching right now, that's a massive positive. And, you know, especially engaging with the reaction thing, being able to get your points across. And maybe it feels like you're in cement, you know? Feels like your mouth is full of gravel. And yet, despite the heaviness, there's a way around it. And you've made that choice. It's not all down to me. It's on you, which is a big positive. But yeah, just adding on Glasgow. Susan Veach, sister-in-law to Kenny Veach. Well, it was okay at one point, but it went a bit downhill, Glasgow, because she was communicating with Atari. She communicated with me. I then did a live, or I did a video or something with that intel, and then Atari thought, why do you have that information, Raf? How dare you? She felt betrayed or something. But I was only just doing the video because I don't want to gatekeep information, you know? And then at one point, I think Susan didn't like the idea of me covering the case open-minded, you know? The combination of, is Kenny Veach alive? Proof that he is. Kenny Veach, still in the desert, mystery. I was doing both. I was doing all angles. Let me just hold that for a second, just because I want to stretch my body for a second. Okay. Oh God, my head's going to touch the ceiling, isn't it? So I'm going to whack my head. Hold that for a second. Still very hot even outside. Welcome to anyone else that is watching during this live stream. Kenny Veach, the latest updates and developments. We've got the creepy skull on a boulder, which may or may not have been there when Kenny Veach got scared with that cave, when he said, "No, I'm not going up there." Looks like what? Looks like the skull that Jeff Clark came across later and then later disappeared afterwards. Ah, I've got cobwebs in my hair. Oh no, my hair's clean as well. It's not now. Does anyone have a feather duster? I think I need one. I tried multiple times, even going over there, and they refuse. All it needs is a little bit of communication. And yeah, it just shows how difficult people make it. Where's the cobwebs? I hope no one's got a weird angle the way I'm looking up. They'll be looking up my nose. Well, here we go. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Jeff Clark. We have the presence. So Roger Salter is the one claiming that Robin has ended his life. Roger Salter is also a viewer on my channel that has been lurking for the last few years on and off. Yeah, I can imagine EJ in London, much hotter down there, right? Nice, we've got Caroline Middleton, welcome back. You can hear me as clear as a bell, that's great. Roger Salter could be hinting or suggesting at death elsewhere, so people are just dropping. What is that yapping? Tunnel goes into the Arizona, then into New Mexico. Oh yeah, speaking of, I think the last real journalist was the one recently that was whining about my voice. I was talking too slow, like I was talking like or talking to babies. Goo goo gaga. Can you understand me? Got to go back to the phone. You mean you've got to go back to your phone or back to the phone of Kenny's? Whose phone? Because I tell you, I'm holding a phone. I'm holding two phones right now. I've got another phone somewhere else. One video was slow, real slow. As said, you've got the option to increase the speed of videos. You'd think YouTubers would know how that works. Back to his phone that was found. The condition of it, the charge. I said, little videos here and there that we need to tick off the list with time, and we'll get to it eventually, we will. Just see how things are tomorrow with the weather. If I do a video, it might just be a very tiny short one. It could be a little short one on Robin or Sean Horlacker, just in regard to the missing videos which have been privatized. Privatize all the videos except for the one main one, even though the other ones are just as important. Interesting. I mean, yeah, you've still got that possibility where people could be silenced and there's an agenda, blacklisting, that can always be a possibility. But then again, the other thing that needs to be considered, sometimes the algorithm is just straight up terrible no matter what you do. There's only so much that you can do when it comes to YouTube. And that's like that with really any platform. There's only so much that you can control. But it's a good surprise that there's enough people watching tonight. Wasn't too sure if it would actually work or not, because we're doing that video earlier and the other short clip. Wasn't too sure if it was going to cancel out the notifications, but maybe things may work out. But it's interesting because I uploaded 2 videos once in a day, and each one got about 200 to 300 views. So there was a bit of awareness, but not enough. Then I uploaded a similar video the next day or day after, and only one, and that got about 600 to 800. So it kind of like splits the views in half, which is kind of unfair because people want to learn, and if people are denied, what can you do? I wonder if any people from here come from GLP. Somebody hit me with something in 2016. It was clearly controlled. Oh, I'll do another little guessing thing in just a second. But before I do it, just to see if it works or not, just use the yes emoji, the smile emoji, if I have your permission to guess again. Let me know if it can be done or not. Just a little yes or no to guess the presence. Just lightheartedness. Oh, what's that? Sorry, what was that emoji then? The yes emoji. Go on, do it. Okay, I will do. God, those emojis are tiny. It's really hard to see on screen. So it's like a 1 to 2 minute delay. That's good to know. It's just because I don't want to jump ahead. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm going to guess. I'm going to say, I sense the presence of a person that shows up almost every day, tries every time to show up, you know, to watch the videos, and that is one of the best things about them. Very supportive, very open-minded, very patient, and no matter what's happened, still showing up, still present, still trying, doing whatever one can, you know? Even if it's just like a little drop of energy, just a little drop of whatever, still showing up, which is much appreciated. I sense at times, you can sense that closeness. I don't know if that can apply to the other person as well, sensing that closeness in a way. Anyway, what else do we have? Would be good to get a group. Let's go to M Cave. The planning, the preparation. Ideally, group-based would make sense if you somehow nailed down the location with confidence of the cave to bring it down, but maybe not literally, because you know the rules, the laws, and all that. But you know, it's about rules, regulation, and ever since there's been people that have started using drones up there, and there's no consequences. Scott Natal ended up going into the mine shaft without even a rope and took items away. You agree? Okay. It's good that. So it's kind of like I feel you, you feel me. So it shows that connection is still there. It's still strong. That connection is unbreakable. And a true sign of when something is unbreakable is when all the odds are stacked against you or stacked against a person. And still, there is life. There is hunger. Why do I start going into 50 Shades when I start talking? I can't help it. I think someone needs to put tape on my mouth. Yeah, so Slytherin, I guess you didn't watch my videos in the past. There have been a few different unusual accounts that have given death threats and all kinds of threats to me in the past, cryptic messages, all kinds of weird things. Roger says, both accounts belong to the same person. Yeah, isn't it interesting how one account is still up, the other account is not? Speaking of which, in terms of guessing, my God, the train's passing on by. One moment. Speaking of which, guessing in the background, I sensed the presence of someone that may have once said that they need to lock me in the same room. Well, I'd best be in that same room, or if not, I'll find a way in. Oh, we got the police sirens. Woo! We got the sirens coming on in the background. So we're talking about the agency. Bob, oh boy. Okay. Oh, wait, let me guess, You in the background. I think I know what you're doing. I think that little shocked face isn't exactly a no, is it? It's more a maybe. That shocked face emoji is more half and half innocent, because I know you're a very innocent person. I remember that. I was the corrupted one. Anyway. 25, wow. We've got a healthy amount of people watching. So there will be more Kenny Veach videos to come. Just got to pace it. The next video that will probably be done will be on Really Robin, then possibly followed with maybe that land being taken over and how it is relevant to Kenny Veach, because it's about 5 miles out there, but that maximum 45-mile range is what Kenny said to his nephew Hunter Veach if he didn't find the M cave. When going back out there one last time, well, when going back out there the next time, you just go 45 miles north. It wasn't specified as in 45 in total, there and back, or 45 miles one way, and only going so far till succumbing to the environment. We've got Just Me. Welcome, Just Me. Evening. I do have on the sideline a little not psychological, but a little psychology tip. Like what I touched upon last night, yesterday, as in the dynamic of being in a room, you know, and it may feel a bit crowded. Or there's like a toxic people about. If there's anyone in the background that would like to listen in to that piece of advice or something, just let me know and I'll explain it. But what else do we have here? So this whole agency thing and whatnot, Robin, the so-called Robin, had brought it up in the Q&A. Has levels to it and hierarchy. I know some people like to be a bit quirky and do it as like an ARG game. Always got to be careful and cautious of that too. Robin totally stole the spotlight from Kenny. Yes, but Slytherin, I think he's diverted your attention as well, hasn't he? I remember that time I tried doing a really Robin impression. It didn't quite work out well. I find it funny how the hairstyle appears to look better when I'm outside, doing it this way, compared to when I'm doing it upstairs. What time are we on at the moment? Okay, not too bad. We probably can go for like maybe 30 more minutes or so. Anyone has any more questions on Kenny Veach, you can always leave it down below. But it looks like we've generated some more ideas, videos on Kenny, which is obviously a good thing. I just need to get on with those archiving of the Really Robin short clips of the hike. Won't be as many because I think the total length of Robin's videos may be 10, 12 minutes. Not that long. It was edited quite a lot, wasn't it? Don't you think, Jeff Clark? If you're still here, Jeff. I know Jay Silverheels is present too, but Robin's hike was definitely edited and cut up into pieces. So trying to follow it along, it's a little bit jumpy, jump cuts here and there. Kenny Veach's footage as well was also edited, the 2014 one. Jeff Clark's eating. Oh my goodness, we can't interrupt Jeff Clark. What are you eating, Jeff? EJ, yes, I thought that as well. I missed your question. Well, I've completely forgot my question, Jeff. And it was only a few minutes ago. I was trying to think. It's not coming to my mind. At least you're getting to see a demonstration of how the mind goes blank, like it does for me. Oh my God. Potato. Well, it wasn't my question, but... Oh yeah, well actually that was my question, but it was one of my questions actually. Yeah. Okay. It's a good thing, Jeff, that Jay Chuck is not here, because after all those food videos that Jay Chuck's done, he's probably would have stolen your potato by now and done a review of it as well. Does that light work? Oh shit, I just blinded myself just then. Great. That flash makes me forget everything what I've just seen. But yeah, shout out to the people with the stamina, being able to make the earlier premiere and making this live stream too. That's encouraging to see. I'm not going to go at this hard all the time, of course. Pace it, so no fatigue. It's true, Jeff. Roger, Kenny was also part of the agency, but that's not a secret anyway from day one. That's all I can say. And it's similar to how Robin would be communicating via the emails. One thing we have not seen, to my knowledge, is Roger Salter and Robin showing up at the same time in the same chat. Why did that light just come on then? What? When I pressed that light before and it flashed, I didn't turn it on. And now it's just randomly turned on beside me. I can show you. The agency did it, yeah, the agency turned that light on just there. And we've got some paranormal activity going on. It's a, you can't see it, but it's like a button. That button there. I briefly pressed it, but I didn't press it hard enough for it to turn on, so that's why it flashed. And then it just randomly turned on. Why did Robin choose that canyon? Yeah, if we're going to ask Baseline Jumper, or we're going to ask Roger, we're going to ask the other guy in the suit and tie, the AI one, you know? Oh, Roger's retracted his message. More sirens. At least the lighting and everything seems to be reasonable tonight. You don't get many people talking about this case, fam. Especially on TikTok, it doesn't seem to be doing the rounds anymore. And yet there's so much to talk about. Has Roger gone? Roger, over and out. No, well, they're still in the chat, but it says messages retracted, which is a quirky thing to do. They got a background profile picture of desert, and then the profile picture, diving guy, looks a bit dodgy. Could be anyone. About there. And I think Trav was able to make this live stream, this debrief in the Kenny Veach headquarters. Unfortunate, but so I can always watch it on catch up. I'm sure there'll still be a lot of different questions to ask, previous footage to look back at. You may not see it now, but you might when you rewatch Kenny's footage to other hikers. Definitely things that need to be ticked off the list. Got about like 3 or 4 mysterious videos. Plan them out. For most part of it, just about every single video that I've made on these cases I've made in one whole day. Like, I've not crossed over days, I've done it all in one day. In the earlier days, some took a bit longer, but that was because of technology and the editing and issues like that. Jeff, he left when I asked why that canyon was chosen. Maybe because that question is too personal, too close to home. Maybe it's because that's Robin. Because this is the thing, Jeff. If a person has a second account, they tend not to be logged in on the same one, 2 at once, in the same chat, you know what I'm saying? Silver Hills, he chose that canyon because he said he had to get out and do something out there, and it was one of the closest. That's the thing, Jay, it wasn't one of the closest. The closest was the one before it, and that's what Jeff Clark did in 2021, which turned out to be the wrong canyon. Might be able to get something out of them. Well, what we'll do, Jeff Clark, when I get around to those Q&As, little screenshots here and there, can review them, and you let me know your thoughts, Jeff. See what happens. Yeah, the Fishhook Canyon. That was the closest one. There's probably one even closer before that, but it was probably very not as long. I think there was one just before it. Why is it so wonky? It's like an optical illusion, this. I turn it one way, and it's wonky. That's just because it's the board, isn't it, at an angle. But you know what? A bit more practical. True, there are a couple shorter ones closer, yeah. Have you been up those shorter ones, Jeff? They might not yield much, but... Did anyone hear that voice? I don't think I did. Jeff says yes. Yes, as in going up those canyons? Was there anything of interest up there? Any caves? Just for a second. When I went up Silver Hills steep one, I first went up one of the short ones. Okay. I'm sure I heard something. I can hear someone sneezing in the background, but that's not here, that's in the distance. Bunch of shallow caves. I show my video. Okay. Yes, we also forgot about that. Hey, is Jay Silverheels still here? Out of interest. Jeff Clark. I've got something just beside me. It's a bit stuck. Oh my god. Speaking of snakes, snake in the grass. Come on, Silverheels. Where's the snake in the grass at? We've got a snake right here, in case you're wondering. Bit floppy. Bloody hell. It'll show on camera. Got a snake just here. Let's put this around me. There we go. EJ, I'm sure I heard the word why. I didn't hear that myself, so that's kind of creepy, that. Did anyone else in the background hear any voices, whispers, like EJ did? Oh, it's the snake. The snake's talking. Have you got anything to say, Mr. Snake? No? Oh, okay. Let the snake rest on the shoulder. Slytherin, can you link Roger's YouTube? I haven't had the time to follow him. Ooh, new interest. Okay. Let me try. Give me a second. Why are you maintaining a dungeon shed on your property? Basically, anyone acts on naughty behaviour, instead of going to the one-on-one consultation room with Dr. Raf, you come to the room with Raf Matrix. So any problematic people, any naughty behaviour, you come here, or you will arrive here, you will appear here, and we follow through with the next procedure. Jeff Clark. Yes, the stars are trying, complimenting the peacock. And we've got a snake wrapped around my neck as well. Trains, snakes, and sirens. Peacocks, yes, Jeff, very observant there. And there is some weird dog thing beside me. There is a rusty sheep. What else is there? I don't know what that is. All kinds of bits and bobs. Okay. When I say okay, it sounds like Scott Natal, because Scott Natal would always say okay, wouldn't he? Oh, well. Well, isn't that convenient? The Roger Salter YouTube account has mysteriously vanished into thin air now. Oh, well. Well, looks like that Roger Salter account has either deleted itself or it's privatised, gone into hiding. That's why you can't see any comments in the chat now. I had their account up just before on the phone, but then when I looked back at it, it said this channel doesn't have any content or something. Not that there was any content on that channel to begin with. But just so you know, Jeff and Slytherin, that Roger Salter account has been around for years. They'd be lurking on my channel. The Roger Salter account, in terms of that gut instinct, is similar to all the other dodgy accounts out there that had it in for me. You know, the ones that made those threats, the warnings, "We'll see you the 4th of May in a year's time. Lock your doors, look out through the windows, people can be reasonable, they're coming after you, we'll take you out," death threats, you know, the usual stuff. If you have a look back at what I've documented on my channel, you'll be quite surprised. We've had the weird Russian internet cafe person lurking about from Sean's channel at one point, possibly on my channel. Deep cryptic code, 12-hour one to decode, a viewer on my channel trying to decode them and it'll go missing in real life. All kinds of weird stuff going on. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a countdown from 20 because I've pretty much touched upon most of this stuff tonight in regard to Kenny Veach and M Cave. And once I've done my countdown to 0, then I'm going to leave it like that. But I'll stick around just for a little bit more, just in case anyone wants a little reference to psychology or not, any little catch-ups, any little debrief, anything from last one to now. I'll do that if anyone wants it in the background, you can let me know. But I'll just do my countdown first and then we'll see. Don't have to rush into anything just yet. Okay. That's a positive heads up. Thank you. So I'll just do my countdown now and then we'll see where we're at, okay? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So that's it for Kenny Veach and M Cave for now. If you have joined late, you can always rewatch at the start where we talk about most of it. If you need to get some sleep or do anything, you do what you need to do. I might touch upon just some of the little bits and bobs on the sideline in just a second, okay? So thanks for everyone that's popped in, here or there or all the way through, much appreciated. We'll leave it there for now as for Kenny Veach, and I'll either see you tomorrow or the day after, okay? So take care for now. Now, let's do the thing. Power saving mode, is that on? Medium? Let's see if that works or not. Good night, EJ. And anyone else? Wow. Right, just give me a second. Give me a moment. Okay. So, for those that may be watching in the background, obviously the last live stream that I did touched quite heavy on the toxic environment situation. How that can be a challenge. Maybe that's an understatement, right? If you find yourself in that type of environment daily, I can provide an alternative to try and ease some of that tension, if that's something that's needed. You can let me know with the smiley face can mean a yes, or the shocked face can mean no. Don't need to go on about it. Whatever choice you make, I'll respect, okay? Stretch the body just a little bit. Check if everything's all working. Okay. Hello to Dame what? I'm going to try and check alternative device in just a second. Just because of the battery level. You need to be conscious of that. So just give me a moment. It's going to start raining then. Just give me a moment. Okay. Hello there. So, in regard to psychology, if it's of anyone's interest, if needed or not, in regard to a scenario of being in a room, in a house, a building, such as round toxic family, if dealing with trauma as well, and there's those unhealthy or heavy reminders, just let me know. You find yourself in that situation right now, on and off, just let me know and I can provide an alternative. Okay. So, what I would say is, let's just say you're in the bedroom, okay? Right now, tomorrow, afternoon, whenever. You're in your bedroom, the door's locked, people next door, other rooms. Not ideal, is it? Not literally. May feel like barricaded in the room. Not wanting to leave or go through the door unless you really have to, maybe to get a drink, to get tea, to get a bit of food. Because it's like, oh, if I open that door, then I've got to face them. I've got to deal with them. Or it might be like when they have left to go off and do something for the day. It's like, oh, I've got the house back to mine now. So you're moving about maybe, or just simply going into the kitchen. And you get that moment where you know that they're on the way back. Whether that be a knock at the door, the sound of the door closing, or the intercom, depending what living conditions you're in, right? And it's like that feeling of dread hanging over. Constant or on and off. Pain in the arse. Well, with that being said, the example that I have isn't like a miracle cure, okay? But it's a way of putting up with it, a way of finding time out, okay? If I may, I'm just going to put the phone down because my arm's aching from holding it, okay? Just give me a second. So, that's if you do have it. If you have a window in your bedroom, treat that literally and metaphorically as the external optics of your eyes, a window in which you can see out instead of reflecting inwards with what's going on in here. The eyes can tell a lot. You may reflect on your own eyes, reflecting internally with struggles. Well, whilst that's going on, try to divert your attention. Turn your head to the nearest window and try and look out if you're not able to move, if you can at least like roll over in the bed to look out the window as a distraction. By looking out the window, you can subconsciously tell yourself that there's a lot more going on around you. There's a lot more to look at. Looking at the window is like escaping from what's around, in a sense. The other methods would be if you had headphones or earphones and you were watching something digitally online, or if you were playing a video game, that can help. If you're reading a book, but just simply looking out the window can be a way of escaping. Like if you didn't have a garden, one calming thing to do is just to look, let's say during the daytime or afternoon, by looking at the sky, specifically the clouds as they move on by, that steady motion. It's not about focusing in on the weather and the clouds moving on, metaphorically saying, oh, well, life is moving on, everything's continuing on, so why am I not? It's not about that. It's more so about focusing in on what you see around you, which remains either still or calm and steady. It's more so a reminder to say that whilst your world may feel or be chaotic, it's not defined by what's outside them. But there are still things present or nearby which are light. So whilst it may feel dark within, if you have a window, you can let a bit of light in. It might help. It's been unfortunate because of the shit weather in the UK, especially if you're in the UK. Shit. But if it ever does rain, if you're into rain, if you like rain, you dream about rain, would you say you've ever had visions? Have you ever had any visions of wanting to stand in the rain, or to like be in a park as it just rains, sat on a bench, not too bothered about getting wet because it's actually a grounding experience? Anything like that? I'll just let it sink in for a second. I'm going to give you an example, okay, very shortly. I've got an example of absolute proof that the window effect can help in a sense, especially in terms of connecting or reconnecting. There is evidence and proof, and I will share that with you in just a second. But first of all, would you say there's been times more in the past or at some point where, whilst you want to stand in the rain, you want to stand in that thunderstorm, you want to see all that chaos around, because in some ways it's a relieving, relaxing feeling, but at the same time it's a nice change. You got an internal storm in here, an internal storm inside of that house. But when outside, or when looking outside, if there was a storm literally going on, it's the storm that may relate to what it's like in here, but it's a freeing experience when you see it out in the open, in person, with your own eyes, because it's like a release of what's within, or it feels like you're relating to something and everyone's a part of it. When everyone's a part of that storm, you may feel less alone. It's like a metaphor. So in a sense of being in a park, have you had the mindset of wanting to be in a park on a bench, or to be on a bench beside someone you know of? So either you could feel the warmth or hear the sound as like a grounding approach, hear the sound or the sensation of the heart beating, but not yours, but someone else's. Because it might be the want, the need for that external presence of someone, because things may not quite feel alive within. Twat, absolute twat getting in my ear, little fly, trying to interrupt me. Sorry about that. But there's a presence of someone, or that wish in the presence of someone, because something external, as in a person, can bring back to life what's been lost within oneself. Now, I'll give you that example, that proof, okay? In the past, in 2022, let me just hold this for a second. In 2022, I was friends, and I am friends with someone, a person from India, thousands upon thousands of miles away from me. And their time zone is like 4 to 6 hours ahead, which basically means that if I was to be chatting with them, they would be into the next day or like early hours of the next day. So it made it hard to communicate at times, you know? But back in 2022, there was a time when chatting, and it was the evening time. So technically it was dark for me and it was dark for them. And I said to them, what can you see in the sky? And they could point out certain stars. And I said to them, can you see a certain one? Can you see what I see? And they said, yeah. Kind of messing about, playful, back and forth. And then when it came to the moon, I said, can you see that? And they said it's on the other side, so they had to sneak outside in the dark. I went outside in the dark too. We saw the same exact thing, we shared the same exact experience. Thousands upon thousands of miles away, separated, and yet we saw the same exact thing. What that went to show, specifically as a friendship only, is that despite the distance, you could still be connected and experience the same thing. So no matter what else was going on around, you could experience the same thing. So, you know, I guess in a sense, psychologically, it brings like a calming feeling, and a shared experience can be a fun one. So what I'm saying is, if you find yourself in that bedroom, in that living room, or wherever the house is, and you're dealing with a toxic family member, a toxic aunt, a toxic friend, maybe, who knows, a toxic neighbor, but more so a family member with him, or more than one, where do you go? You look through the window. And maybe it helps if the time zone is closer together. If you know of someone, you can think of someone, and you look through that window, you look up at the sky, whether it's during the daytime, you look at the clouds, or you look at the stars at night, or even the moon, and just calmly look at it for a bit. Because that steady motion of the sky can be a bit relaxing. So, you know, maybe in the past, you have found yourself finding it relaxing being near water, like a river or the ocean, depending where you are. Would you say that's happened? And one way to possibly relate, if it does apply, if, let me think, would you say, anyone watching in the background, would you say there has ever been a time where previously, when you were in communication, in reach of someone, like a friend or even a partner or a potential one, that there was a time in the day where you were able to communicate, and even if it was role play, even if it was just lightheartedness, you were doing the same exact thing, whether that be sleeping or resting in bed or just simply sat down. Would you say there has been a time where you were in that position and it felt better knowing that what you were doing was similar to what someone else was doing? So despite the distance or the arm's length, you were doing the same thing, and it's that synchronicity, it's the interactional synchrony which brought it closer together despite the distance. Would you consider that? Has there been a time like that? I'll just give it a few minutes just for it to settle in, okay? If it doesn't apply, of course you can let me know, but if it does apply, if you can, just let me know. Okay. What I would say is, just from a little, little point of view thing, like a little scenario. I'll give you a little scenario in just a second. So, if you find yourself with what you've just, acknowledged there, in my position, if I was in a situation where I was with someone, I would think the exact same. To me, in my opinion, it feels, especially if there's a bit of distance, whatever that might be, physical distance, the psychological distance because of what's happened, etc. in the past, whatever that may be. But in my opinion, I would say I would feel most calmest when technically doing the same thing as someone else, whether that's just simply random, watching football. I'm watching football, they might be watching football, reacting at the same time. Or if it just be resting in bed. That, in my opinion, the difference between resting in bed as normal versus resting in bed if communicating with someone who I know, it's a night and day difference. As in, it's so much better when in the presence of someone else. And depending on the connection, it can feel real, as in like they're in the same room as you. If you're able to generate that yourself, it can create a shield. And maybe you need a shield, temporary, on and off. The next time you've got a family member or someone in the same room, or if you've got a friend nearby going on, or you got a friend or you got a client in the background saying, where are you? Where are you? Why are you not showing up? Why are you not doing my hair? Why are you not getting these spreadsheets done? Why are you not fixing that tire? I don't know what type of clients. I just come up with all kinds of random ones. But if there's like a high demand and you're just not ready, that's fine. If you're not available, that's fine. If people are prodding and poking you, or if you've got like a family member going on or insulting you, putting you down, what do you do in that moment? Try and think back to a better time. You could word it as before the silence, before the freeze, before the shutdown, whatever, before the burnout. There's nothing wrong in holding on to the past if it's something positive. Maybe way back in the past it was holding on to a past ex-partner as a coping mechanism to stay sane, to not go insane because of the crazy shit that happened and what they did to you. But if there's been anyone since, any other encounters since, even if it's someone you wish to reconnect with, but it's just not quite ready yet, there's nothing wrong in holding on to certain memories if it's something that makes you feel alive or real. And there shouldn't be any guilt or shame in holding on or reflecting on the positive moments. It's a positive moment for a reason, and you felt a certain way for a reason at that time. And where you are right now and where you have been for the last however long, don't compare. The reason, I know I can't tell you what to do, you can think for yourself, of course, but the reason why I would suggest not comparing, if you compare a good time then to how it is now, that distance and that isolation is only going to feel that heavy, you know, that, oh, what have I done? I can't have that now. It's ruined. Who said it is ruined then? Who really says it is ruined? It might be what you tell yourself, but it may not be the absolute truth. You know, like in some previous videos in the past, I said, don't compare, or there's no point in comparing way back in the past with a past partner with a current or a recent one, because if you're doing things different now or have done with someone, different things, different encounters, first time experiences, they can't be linked or compared to the past because there is nothing to compare with. So the darkness can't pull the positives away. If you have found yourself at times, encounters, conversations with this person you think highly of, whatever you did, got up to, in person, online, whether it be close, whether it be casual, whether it be just joking about, being playful, messing about, whatever it is, if that was different to the past, if your encounter with that said person, there is no one, nothing else that compares or comes close to it, even if that includes family, even if that includes friends, even if it includes your best friend. Your best friend is quite a valued individual, but if there's a little bit deep down within where you think, yeah, these people are good, but this other person, wow, there's something different in a good way. A situation like that, you know of someone, you may not be in reach of them, you may not know how to reach them, you may not have the energy, and that's okay. But what you do have still is the memory. So even if you put yourself down with a bad memory or you keep forgetting stuff, clearly you do remember what's most important. And it's closer than what you think. So, let's give it a few seconds. It's getting a bit warm. Sorry, while I'm talking very serious, I've got a bloody snake around my neck still. Forgot about that. So, what I've just said, even on the sideline, if your memory goes or it feels like it's slipping, it hasn't. Because if you sense what you sense right now, and you relate to what's just been talked about then, you know of someone, you remember that person, you remember what it was like, as in the positives. That's important, that. What that goes to show, that is hard evidence and proof that even if you're in the worst place possible right now, you're not dead inside. And in fairness, that can happen though for other people. This isn't about comparing or trying to be better off than others, but when some people slip away or sink or crash or burn, they can become numb, completely numb, unresponsive, disconnected. So you might be fighting against it. You may not be able to move, you may not be able to function as you always have done previously, you may not be able to work, but one thing you're able to do is hold what's most important to you within. Maybe it's the one thing that keeps you going, keeps you breathing. Maybe you don't see an end date within it, but you do hope that every day is a day where things can change. And even if it doesn't change, just having that perspective or hope, once again, is a huge positive. I'll just slow down for a second, just to let you catch up and process if you need to. As for like mysteries and true crime cases, I don't know if that applies to you, E-Curb, but is there anywhere where a case is a little bit of a distraction by any chance? It's good that you're still around, E-Curb. I'll put the bottle. Give me a second. Oh, reaching over. Just on the sideline, may not apply to everyone, but for some people watching in the background, do you feel a heavy weight of responsibility because of the people that are present in life? Sometimes the more people you know, or the variety of contacts you may have, close or not, can feel like difficult to keep up with. You know, if you've got like a little friendship group or more, and you're taking time out and it's like, oh, I've got to message that person, I've got to message that person, I've got to say that things are okay when they're not, because if you're honest, those people could come round to the house and not literally harass you in a sense, but if it's a person further away or at arm's length where they don't know where you are, then the responsibility isn't as strong, or it's don't have to pretend as much. E-Curb, how are you? I'm okay, and you? Just doing some little side videos on the side. What I might do, I might go inside shortly, I'll just see. Yeah. I might be able to do a little bit more, but I might do it in a different room. Depends on the internet connection. So with it being night time, it's got to be a bit quieter now. But yeah, anyone in the background, just let me know, up to now, with what's being talked about, is it okay? As in, not opening up too many wounds. Curb, I'm good. That's good to know. I know it's probably quite late, so if there is anyone watching in the background and you need to get sleep, just let me know, because we can always continue this another time. You know, when I do these psychology videos, of course, I keep it in general, because it needs to try and reach as many people as possible. But there might be a time, there might be a moment where I can apply it very specific to a person whilst keeping anonymity, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I can lock in. You know, this might be internal reflection, but like at this moment in time with the tools, the perspective, the considerations, right now in this moment, would you say you have an idea or a sense of someone you can think of? Whether you can like see them right now in your mind, like a vivid dream or like a vivid perspective of someone. I guess some people would call it daydreaming in a way. But whatever it is, okay. And in regard to that someone you can envision, does it bring you a level of comfort with everything that's going on around? You know, it's just a little bit. Mhm. If I was to give a point of view scenario, if I was in a position to know someone, how a said person could relate in that moment, would I feel the same way? Yes. So would I be able to envision someone in which it invokes positive thoughts or memories? Yes. It's like I'm breaking the fourth wall here, in a way. It could be possible that what they're thinking, I'm thinking too. It could be possible, metaphorically, what they want, I want. You wonder why I'm not looking at the camera? It's because I'm looking at the chat just off screen, okay? I'm not cross-eyed. Well, not yet. It could be in a sense that if you're looking out that window, or no, if a person was to be looking out the window right now, what you're looking at is exactly what I'm looking at too. It could be what you wish within. It could be the same thing that I'm wishing too. What if they were looking in the window, looking at you? Well, if that was the case, E-Curb, I'd probably be calling the police because I think there might be a burglar outside. That wouldn't be ideal. But as well, to be honest, I can't look out the window because I'm actually outside. I've got no windows to look at, but what I do have is the sky. Do you like what I said earlier about you reflect within someone you think highly of, someone you respect, someone you've had a good time with previously? There is another way to do it. Physically. Like, at whatever time of the day. Yeah, it is E-Curb, especially during storms, and I know when you look at the sky, it's mysterious because it's endless. You keep on looking at the sky, it's endless and endless, which can be distracting in a good way. But yeah, just to follow on, if you think highly of someone, you respect them a lot, whether you feel like you deserve them or not, put aside that doubt. You don't deserve to torture yourself with that, okay? Let's put it this way. If I knew of someone that kept saying they don't deserve to be in the presence of me, I'd say, put that doubt aside. It's not needed. Of course, it's not that easy to put it aside, but you know what I'm saying. You shouldn't have to deny yourself. Easier said than done, I guess. But what can be done in the moment, physically? Whether that be in the bedroom, whether that be in the lounge, anywhere where you can be. Even if there's annoying people about, or toxic people, or you're having a nightmare, let's put it this way, internally as well, you're having a nightmare, a night terror, or anything, make sure you've got a pillow. Make sure you've got a bedsheet or a quilt. It's that weight which can be grounding. If you was to put a pillow in between your legs and a pillow pressed against your chest, that can simulate a person in a sense. If you can envision that someone with that physical touch, it can bring a level of closure. I mean, the other one is to print a cardboard cutout of the said person. A cardboard cutout of me, I'd be too tall. I knew if there was a cardboard cutout of me. That'd be interesting, that. One line. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If there's like an object nearby, like a hairbrush or something, without actually touching the brush, if you was able to brush your hair against that said object, it could simulate the even though it's an inanimate object, it could like simulate the stimulation of the scalp and the hair, activating it like a massage. But once again, trying to stimulate a potential dream you may have had, which included someone you knew of, even if it was way back then. A grounding method. Touching someone's hair is a very vulnerable place to be. It's very up close and personal. If you ever find yourself in that situation or dreaming of that, it shows that you have opened up at some point and allowed whatever in. And for that moment, it worked. Trying to recreate these memories, these moments, this is not about direct PTSD or holding on to the past in an unhealthy way. This is about doing similar things as a sense of familiarity, but to bypass the trauma part. It's getting a bit deep, okay? So if you want to write it down, you probably won't be able to, even in a dark room, you're not going to be able to see anything, but let me try and explain this slowly, and I might be able to bring it back up again, okay? So just let me know when you're ready for this with what I'm about to say. You can take your time if you want, but just let me know when you're ready. Yeah, so welcome, Milton. Earlier on in this live stream, I did talk about Kenny Veach, the latest updates and the news. If you're able to rewind back to the start, and you'll be able to hear about that. At the moment, I'm just doing some of the stuff on the sideline during this live, just catching up on other areas. Okay. So anyone in the background, just a little heads up if you're ready for the next part. Just to double check if you're ready. So, right, okay, I see those reactions, thank you. So what I'm suggesting is there might be some things which you can't run away from. And that could be looping thoughts, repetitive thoughts, replaying it over and over again. Certain conversations, certain encounters, all the what ifs, and the blame that comes with it. Being the biggest self-critic and thinking negative. They can be trauma responses. But what if those things at the moment don't have to change, but what does change is the outlook and where it's directed at. So what I'm saying is, if previously your outlook was tied to a past bad person is it possible to channel it through a good person? Not the negatives, but the positive moments. If it's a way of maintaining a level of sanity when dealing with a toxic family, toxic friends, or the pressure of friendship, the pressure of clients, the pressure of needing to recover but not having the energy. In the meantime, what could be applied is holding on and replaying the good encounters with a person you think highly of, but not stressing on where it went wrong or how it went wrong, but considering where it went right, what went well, what worked at that time, and how it made you feel, as a way to cope, but as a way to do it successfully. Because those looping thoughts and replaying and reenacting and considering, you might have done that anyway already, but in a more unhealthy way. So, as in, what's being done doesn't change too drastic. And the reason for that is that familiarity. Slowly shifting that familiarity from the dark to the light, but still sticking with the same routine to bypass the shield. There might have been a time where you were shocked in the past, because a past video that I did, I talked about how you can do role play to put yourself in the shoes of someone else to bypass your own trauma defense mechanism. And that might be like, oh wow, never thought of that. Bypassing as a distraction, like how a doctor may distract a child or someone that's scared of needles. Distraction, do the injection, and they don't even see it coming. It's not a form of betrayal. It's not a form of deceit. What's being done or considered isn't like what a past ex-partner did, as in deceiving you by being all nice and positive and then flipping the switch afterwards. What this is about is trying to confuse the body and mind in order to bypass, to get to a point where there can be a way of coping. It's like tricking the body and mind, but not in a nasty way, but in a caring way, for the sake of yourself, for the sake of your own sanity. And I don't know if a separate video needs to be made on this or not. What I will ask is now, if you can let me know, with what I've talked about right now, would you prefer it as a standalone video, like a pre-recorded one, a bit more polished, a bit more organized? Maybe we can call it Panic Room, what to do when trapped, what to do when feel imprisoned, within and externally. Would you want an extended video on that at some point, before or after the reconnecting one? Put that there for a second. Crunch, crunch. What time are we on? Not too bad. Okay. So, what I'll do to keep a nice steady balance between my own work and the Kenny Veach case, distraction there without being too overwhelming or flooding, the balance of the psychology. Switching between the two does help, so there's no burnout with one case over another thing. What I'll do, tomorrow is going to be a very hot day, so stay safe, but tomorrow I might do a video, but it might not be that big. It depends on the weather. It might be too hot, too uncomfortable to really do anything, but the following day I might do a psychology video, okay? Because I've done Kenny Veach like 2 times in a row now, you know what I'm saying? I've not contributed myself. I'm a very naughty person for not contributing. Should have done that earlier. So tomorrow could be a very short video, okay? The day after can be the psychology one. As in what we've talked about tonight, okay? I'll expand on it, because maybe you want a little bit more elaborated on it, because look, in all fairness, it is really late at night, so if it's a lot to process right now, don't worry. I will explain it more. I'll repeat it again the following day after, because this is the thing, repetition for a trauma survivor is very different to repetition of a person not dealing with trauma. Repetition is a lot more important to a survivor than it is to a non-survivor, you know? So I can understand the importance of repetition, as in just talking about the same thing, going back over it, repeating it, because it's important to process. And not that I want to give too much away right now, but what I do want to say as a heads up, when it comes to that reconnecting one, which I'll do a bit later, because I think there's an order to all this, just as a heads up, that reconnecting one, there's a way for it. There is a way. And the methods are not rushed. The methods to that video gives you the choice, and without the pressure. Absolutely without the pressure. But that video will have absolutely no fear, no worry, no consequences in that sense, because of how that video is going to be organized and described. It's going to give you the chance to consider without even having to do anything whatsoever. As in, you can watch the video and you don't have to do anything you don't want to do after it. These videos here offer perspective. If you want to follow it, you can, and if you don't, that's fine. There's no consequences for not following through with it, you know? But, you know, you might find something which can help a little bit or work in some way. What I would say, as a little heads up, if you do write any notes down, anything, it could be any thoughts, any feelings, any notes, if you are to do it, you best do it on your mobile, because in the notepad section you can lock your notes. meaning you can privatize them, and I think you can do it through a password. So if you're in danger, or if you're around annoying people or nosy people that like prodding and poking, if you can set it as a private notepad, then no one can see what you really think or what's going on within. No one can infiltrate you. So again, you maintain a level of control. Trauma can be driven by a lack of control. OCD can be triggered by a loss of control. But if there are ways to maintain or gain back control, it can regulate the nervous system and make you feel a little bit calmer. And the calmer you are, the more relaxed you are. The more relaxed you are, the more space you will have within to think. And then it'll just make decisions a little bit easier to consider. Not every thought or every decision has to be followed through by action. If it's just considered, that's enough. You can get a lot done even just by laying in bed, you know? I mean, technically I've actually made full-on videos laying in bed. Shh, not many, just one or two. But once again, if you relate to most of this, what's being talked about tonight, if you relate to it, if you feel it, if there is something that you want badly, things like that, again, it shows not all is lost. Because, like, you could say this situation that you're in or has been in for however long could be severe, and there's no playing it down. It could be severe. You know, you got to be honest to yourself, but you can also be honest to yourself in terms of the positives. How could you possibly explain it then? Like, if a person was in a severe state of, I don't know, depression and or low energy, low mobility, struggling to breathe, heavy head, feeling disorientated, feeling pressure, anxiety, and so much more, that's a lot. And yet, despite all that, do you still have a desire within? Because if you did, you could argue and say, whatever that thing is or whoever that person is, that must be something very, very powerful for it to pierce through that deadness, to pierce through that shield. Because a normal person, most people wouldn't have that effect on, a survivor struggling. It's got to take someone special to be able to pierce through that shield. And maybe a survivor may have already made their mind up about what they consider, what they wish for, even if it does seem like Mount Everest. But when a connection is real, it doesn't fade away just like that. I mean, I could sense that a person could shut the world out like how they've done previous times, but this time around it's much longer and more severe. But you've shut the world out, and yet you've still left a little light on for that one key person. Your heart has turned to stone. However, there is a piece of that heart, even if it's crushed by the past, even if it's tarnished by the past, there is still a part of that heart within which reserves a place for someone. And maybe that was with friends and a best friend, but things can change with time. Places that were reserved for one person could be replaced for another person. Someone who may get you and understand you. And that's what you really need. Not so much a stranger or a friend that may say, oh, it's okay, we'll just laugh, we'll just joke. That doesn't cut it. Maybe to a survivor in a severe state, that just doesn't cut it anymore. What's needed isn't just simple joking about or messing about or buying something. It's finally being heard and believed in. You may have a dark side, but it's not the dark side in a negative way. The dark side that you may have is pent-up passion, pent-up frustration, and pent-up annoyance with people around you. You want to break those shackles. You know, if I knew someone that had and has and deals with a lot of trauma, does that put me off? Never. Does a person's dark world push me away a little bit? Never. You know, it's separate this, but just as like a timeline, I've come across people in the past like 2016, 2015, 2021. Those people way back then are pricks, okay? But that's because there was a level of coldness within them. Years passed by, despite all that shit, it needed to happen for me to come across other people onwards, which was a good thing. Despite what the situation metaphorically could be now, it doesn't change. But, let's see. I'm just processing in my mind for a second. I sense the presence of someone, but the presence that I sense is someone that could be in the darkest place possible. And yet this is the one person that's actually real and genuine. And that's what matters. That's what separates them from everyone in the past. Everyone in the past may have struggled, but they were cold. They were twats. They disrespected me. But this presence is different. Because this time round, and as it has been previous, was real. I would understand not everything can be shared, but the expressions of them, real. The compliments by them, real. Let me try and say something else. Just give me a second. I would also say, just in general, anyone can give compliments, but I think it's a compliment itself, receiving a compliment from a trauma survivor, because they've been on the receiving end, they know what it's like. So if a survivor was to compliment you in a positive way, you take that with a high level of positivity in a way. Compliments from a trauma survivor can be more genuine and real than compliments from a non-survivor, in a sense. Not that it applies to everyone, but it can in some ways. Does that make sense? Because when a survivor is complimenting or being a bit positive, it's because they've got a deeper, greater appreciation. A survivor may appreciate the smaller details, the smaller things, rather than everything being big scale and over the top. Put that there for a second. Oops. I think the board's tilting. It's like a ship. Let me just press some emojis myself. The one thing I've not been able to provide tonight is tissues if they're ever needed. I can't give out virtual ones, I'm sorry. Not that it applies like right now, because it might not be possible, but when moving forwards, if there is ever a time, your darkness may be your darkness and exclusive to you, but when it comes to a connection with someone, it becomes our darkness. In a sense of you find a way through together. Because whether it happens now, later, or future, it has to happen at some point in the sense of the connection being actually real. Because if it's perfect all the time, can't have any bad moments, can't have any low moments, got to keep that all locked up. It's got to be smiles all the time. That's just not real. It's not fair for the survivor. It's not healthy in general. So technically, you don't have to deal with the darkness by yourself. If there was a presence of someone, that can be considered as well. Because, you know, you might have certain... Actually, just a little sideline. Would you say you have dreams here and there, like in recent time? Not negative ones, not nightmares, but would you say sometimes you have dreams or you dream of someone? Oops. My mouth's gone a bit dry. I need the water. Grab that for a second. the camera's gone wonky again. Fucking hell. What do I keep doing that? Why do I have to have a wonky camera? I was getting motion sickness. Okay. So, I don't mind in stopping right now if that's what you want. I've checked the time. I wasn't paying attention. It's quite late. So if anyone needs sleep, make sure to try and get some, okay? I'll do the same as well. But before I do anything, just want to make sure on the same page and we can reach a checkpoint, if you want to put it that way. Just give it a few moments to sink in. So, okay. As I said, just as a heads up, when you close your eyes and you go to sleep, whether you wake up during the night or you wake up tomorrow, no matter what happens, just remember what you've done tonight, because it is all progress. Even if it's invisible, it's all progress. And just let me know if you do have that playlist, the psychology one, because you can always refer back to that on earlier videos. Because that's the thing, whilst I've uploaded those psychology videos in a certain order, you have the choice to rewatch any of them, anytime, any place, anywhere. You can access my psychology playlist by going on my channel page, and where the tab section is, where it says homepage, short clips, videos, community, there should be one that says playlist. And if you click playlist, you'll see the psychology one available. You've also got the choice to save the playlist yourself. If you want to copy the URL link of the psychology playlist and you wanted to keep it private, you could also post the link of that playlist in your notepad, the private notepad. I don't know if I can show you it right now or not. The good thing is, in a way, with having that playlist, I mean, I can't cover everything and I can't know everything. I do the best that I can to try and cover every angle. There might be some things that might be out of my depth on, but I do what I can. So hopefully there's enough videos available, variety. So there's a certain problem, or you need clarity, you need a bit of closure, you might find that exact video in that playlist which you need in that moment. Now, just let me know, like with a smiley face, if you require the link to that playlist. If you don't, just use the shocked face, as in, no, I don't need it. Because if you need the playlist, as in the link, I can always paste it in the live chat, okay? But if you've got the playlist already, well then that should be okay then. I'll post it anyway, just in case you want it. And if you're on mobile or tablet or whatever device, if you click on it, right click, or you press down on it with your thumb, hold it down, you should be able to copy and paste it in your notepad. It may look different on Android, but you know, should still work. My eyes are getting a little bit dry. I'll need to get some sleep myself shortly. I think with watching the World Cup late at night, I've kind of built up a resilience going to bed late. I'm turning into a vampire. And you know what? Speaking of which, I would sense that there is someone lurking in the background that may like the idea of a vampire. Preferably biting the neck. Put that there for a second. Ooh, bit wonky. So, let's stretch this for a second. So, just for clarity, if I was to end the live stream shortly with a countdown, would you be okay with that? Would you say you've reached a point tonight, right now, where things are okay in the moment? It's because I don't want to leave the situation hanging just in case. To hang that snake up again some other time. Also, shout out to everyone that's managed to stick around, because I know it's been quite late this. It's more stamina than me. Wow. I still don't think it'll show. Oh, it does show, doesn't it? The snake does show a little bit clearer now. See a little eye? I've actually got a frog as well. And a bat. More rubbery. Okay. I said, if things do change or something goes wrong, just make use of that playlist, and there should be at least one video which may help you in that moment, even if it's only temporary relief, you know? It's not like used as a crutch, it's not used as like an addiction, it's not used in a toxic way, it's used for the sake of sanity, for the sake of feeling a little bit better, because that's, you deserve to feel a bit better. And maybe for the odd person in the background, even if you do come from Mars, there's a very high chance that what you're looking at is what I can see, so when you go to sleep, you're not that far away as you think you are from said person. I can imagine some people in the other people watching will be thinking, am I trying to collude with aliens at this moment? When I keep talking about a person from Mars. Okay, well, with that being said, I will do a countdown now, okay? I'll count down from 20, and then we'll leave it there, okay? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. What I will say is, I saw it tapping in rhythm, in sync with the countdown. I feel that. It kind of reminds me, I remember it in the past when tapping that button, but it was on a different platform. I pressed it, they pressed it, but it was like perfectly in sync, just like how it is right now. It goes to show it was never lost, still in sync, still connected. That's good, that. I like that. I do like that, yeah. Okay. I think this is what the thing is, these tiny little details you pick up on are the most important ones. It's not just what a person could pick up on, it's what I can pick up on as well. Where's the cats gone? The cat army. The cat army in chat. We need another coloured cat. I need to come across another cat. Got a black cat, got a ginger cat, I need a white cat. There are some white cats, but they don't come over to stay distance over there, unfortunately. Right, how do I end the stream? I forgot how to do it on mobile. God, if I forget how to end a stream, you're going to be stuck with me for a long time. I feel sorry for you. I think it's top left corner where the cross is. Okay. So, shout out to everyone that did watch, and much appreciated. Make sure to get to sleep. And, you know, for the person in the background, make sure you rest your thumbs and fingers from tapping on that screen, because that's a workout in itself, isn't it? You're better at tapping it than I am, because I tried doing it that one time and I couldn't outpace the other person, could I? I remember when I was pressing it, I think, is it weird that I actually remember? I think it was like the 1st or the 2nd of March 2026. I did a live stream and there was over 1,000 reactions, and I remember I was trying to have a battle with someone and I could not win it because they had too much energy to give, which was good. And I think we're seeing that again right now. And it's what we've seen ever since. It never stops, did it? Okay. So, I'm going to end the stream now. Get some sleep. And make sure to get sleep yourself. And yeah, that was that. Right, with that being said, take care, goodbye, good night.